Hi, Bill Bodner here, Mortgage Market Guide. Thanks for tuning in to our MMG weekly recap. So, crazy week, and we want to build on the theme of what we put together for our newsletter subscribers. And the theme is to stimulate or not to stimulate. There are many stories and threads moving the markets, but the big one right now is the stimulus package and the ongoing negotiations within Congress. And so, as my associate at Mortgage Market Guide, Pat Hennessy, always says, you really hurt us here, and we did get hurt because it seems that McConnell, in a press conference, led the world and the financial markets to believe that there's a wide divide between both sides on getting a stimulus bill done, and this was quite worrisome for the stock market. But at the same time, bonds didn't improve much. Usually, when stocks move sharply lower, we see the bond market improve. We didn't. And why? Well, you have to ask yourself, can you imagine the way the stimulus package and these negotiations work? There's a deadline, and it's December 21st. If they do not get something in place before December 21st, Congress is supposedly going on congressional recess until the end of the year. And you have to ask yourself, do you think that there's any chance that Congress can go home, senators and House of Representatives, home to their families without passing a stimulus bill? We don't either. So we think something's going to happen. It has to happen. It's ugly to watch, but they have to get some sort of measure. And why? Well, you take a look at the economy. The initial claims this week, a little soft number. We're seeing a softening in the economy, and when we're seeing some hard lockdowns in certain parts of the country, some more restrictions because of this crazy rise in cases. We need stimulus, and we need it now. So I think we're going to get it. Now, on the other thing that was moving the markets this week is we're seeing parallels in Europe. In Europe, we always joke about it being the Euro drama. And they said that there's a real threat that their economy can slip into a recession in the fourth quarter. Now, you may recall going into COVID, Europe, because of their fabric, a failed fabric about these member states kind of coalescing around a currency without the fiscal authority to kind of drive real change. They limped into COVID, almost in a recession already. So they did take measures. They actually upped their quantitative easing or their bond buying program to help maybe stave off a recession. And remember, a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. So they're talking about maybe the fourth quarter slipping into a recession. So in our eyes, the central bank punch bowls are alive and well. They're going to continue to do more. Our Fed is buying $120 billion worth of bonds a month. I do think the fiscal stimulus will come, but it's an ugly process. Goodness, is Congress just a tough thing to watch, nauseating, in fact. But so as we look at next week, we have this ongoing stimulus package being done, and I think you're going to see the Fed call them out again. I mean, there's political pressure, there's pressure everywhere to get a plan done. We think it gets done, but just don't watch. But next week, looking ahead, the Fed is back. It's Fed week. And while the Fed will not do anything with rates, candidly, they probably will not hike rates for several years, a few years at least. And that means that, home equity lines of credit, auto loans, things like that, there will be no change. They will be depressed rates. But at the same time, savers will get killed. You can't have your money in the bank right now. You're losing money to inflation. So that's what we're thinking about heading into this week. There's a lot to follow, a lot of turbulence, but this is all about the stimulus package. And of course, the vaccine distribution, right? We had a 90-year-old woman in the UK be the first person on the planet to get the vaccine. And we're going to see probably 20 million cases, 20 million vaccines distributed by the end of the year here in the United States. So a lot of moving parts. The markets are forward-looking, and that's why you're seeing, yields at high levels, and you're seeing stocks also at high levels. So I hope this finds you well. Have yourself a great weekend. Be safe, be positive, and test negative. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.